All right, so in this session, what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through how to fill out your activity gauge. And it's a monthly activity gauge. It's something that's going to be one of the most powerful tools for you in your business once you get your projection going. This is actually how it's your day by day. How do you accomplish your trip? Remember, we talked about like taking a car trip or a road trip or maybe a flight to a different country and a dream trip. Well, this is your dream business. You need not only a plan, but now you need a day by day. What do you do to get there, right? And that's what this is. Powerful. You make it for yourself and work on it daily. It's going to be absolutely indispensable. Now, I really want to clarify for you something here, guys. Some of you, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, oh my goodness, it seems like work. Well, yeah, life has work. There's work involved in it. There's nothing of value will come to you without putting in effort and work, right? So, of course, but the kind of work, everybody works hard, whether you, no matter where you work, you've got to work hard, right? Here you're working on your dream. And these are some new skills to learn. Remember, we've got to get out of our comfort zone to be changing our lives. And so you're going to learn some new skills here, but this is powerful. And I remember for a long time getting started in my business, I didn't really start gauging and using a gauge, but once we started, it totally changed everything for us. We ended up with growth that is absolutely incredible, and you're always going to hear stories of people who've done that. And I'm going to suggest to you, don't lose valuable time. Be teachable and begin using the gauge immediately. Don't wait 2 or 3 years to say, oh my goodness, I lost so much ground these last couple of years because I didn't take advice. Now I get it. I wish I would have done it back then. Well, do it now. Right now is back then for those, and you don't want it to be a back then. You want it to be now moving forward. Okay. All right. So not complicated, but when you first look at it, it's new stuff. So let me go through it with you. Okay, so let's go. Let's get the screen shared. First thing you're going to want to do by now, well, first of all, you want to make sure you've downloaded and made a copy of your activity gauge or of your gauge workbook, right? Let me go to the action plan checklist that kind of describes the process you probably went through, or a similar one if the checklists were modified prior to this or since then. This will be the process you've gone through that's gotten up to this point. So you've made your gauge workbook, a copy for yourself. Let's get the screen shared. Let's do some annotating so you can follow me. Come on. Let's get that moving. I'll get that out of the way. And I think I'm going to put a spotlight in so you can follow what I'm talking about. Okay, so on the action plan worksheet, you've had a similar checklist to this. If you haven't gone through your action plan checklist, do it. Go through it, okay? So it talks about this ideal action plan. And there are 2 areas we look at. Number 1 is, what is your result target, okay? And number 2, what is your invitation action or your marketing action? This is the action you will implement to achieve these results, okay? Now, as we've gone through, you first did your gauge workbook. Now we're going to go and you've completed the projection. If you've not done that, do that. Now we're going to get into filling out your gauge workbook. Okay, remember, quick review. Remember then, you did your growth projection, and your growth projection said I'm going to do 20 presentations a month because I like where that takes me in 2 years, right? And that means I'm going to be shooting for 4 distributors a month and one supervisor out of every 4 distributors. I'm shooting for, at this rate, 2 distributors a month, right? Going to get 2 distributors a month. I'm going to get a supervisor every other month. Looking here, it looks like, yeah, somewhere around 2 months in, okay? So what is an action plan now to make that happen? Well, if you look at your gauge workbook, we're on the growth projection worksheet right now, and then you see these different months along the bottom. These are actually an activity gauge for each month. So you'll notice I have January way over here. Here's what you can do. You can move these around. I'm in August right now. We're about to start August. So let me move August over to there. So that whenever I open my workbook, that's the first one I see. That's what I want to do. And then January will come in up in the list as I start my new year. Okay, let's click on August or whatever month you're on or you're setting your gauge up for now. Now you'll notice a big yellow sign. It says don't make entries in red cells. You remember that once and you'll be good because there are formulas in there. So you go ahead and you can just click on that, hit the delete, and that's now out of your way for good. All right, so several things you're going to do. You want to make sure you're on the right year or month here. Up here, of course, you put your name in there, and then all of this other information, put in yourself, right? And then here in the yellow, you're gonna wanna make sure, so in this month, I have 31 days in August. Some months you only have 30 days, some months you only have 28 days. Type in however many months you've got. And let's go here, now we've got the date running across the top row. We got the day here, and those days vary from month to month. So I'm going to start and type in what is the first in August. Well, it's a Wednesday. So I'm just going to put a W in for that. And then the next day is, of course, a TH for Thursday, and then Friday, right? So you get SA for Saturday. You get where I'm going here. SU for Sunday, M for Monday, T for Tuesday, and or TU if you want to remember it. And there you go. Now I can do that 1 month at a time. I can copy and paste these in, but you fill that out for the entire month all the way across, and you see what you've got as far as any day of the month. Now let's go to Wednesday again here, and then Thursday and Friday. Okay, so you set up your month to be relevant, and that's what you do at the beginning of every month. And I'm going to suggest that you do this every month before the next month begins. Okay, now that we've got that set up, a couple of things. You got your general information up here. Here you got your growth plan, right? And then your growth actual. Now the red cells are going to tell the actual, and what you want to do, this plan is based on your projection. Your projection said, well, this month I'm looking for, well, not a supervisor this month. I'm not going to get a supervisor this month because I'm just getting started. Maybe next month. So next month you may put one in there, or the following month. Generally by your second or third month in building mode, that's when you start seeing one every other month. Okay, so I'm going to put 0 here. I'm not planning on one this month, but I am planning on 2 distributors. Why? Because on my projection, I said I'm going to do 20 presentations a month. I'm going to get the average skills. That tells me that's 2 distributors a month. That's my plan. So now I got to make sure I complete 20 a month. So let's do that plan. So 2 distributors is my target for this month. New clients, I'm going to shoot for, because I'm going to do 20, I'm going to shoot for 10, because I'm going to get 5 out of every 10 presentations. New preferred member, I would like to get to this month as well. And I think that's realistic. Run these numbers past your sponsor, your mentor. Okay, let's go to the presentations done. Let's go there. How many did I say I'm going to do on my projection? Every single month, 20. So this means I need to complete 20, but you'll notice this one, presentations booked. Why do we put that there? Because I know people cancel. It's normal. People cancel dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, counselor appointments, coaching appointments, dates. People cancel appointments all the time. It's normal. I'm going to plan on half of them canceling. So now I'm going to schedule, or I'm going to book 30 this month. Got it. Now, I know if I book 30, I'm sure to get done 20. Because if I only get 18 done this month, I've got a problem. I've got a problem. I will not achieve my 2-year goal if I don't do exactly the amount it says every single month. If I only do 19, I get behind every single month, and it makes a huge difference. I actually will end, believe it or not, if I only do 10, it doesn't mean that it'll take me twice as long to get there. It'll actually take me 4 to 5 times longer to get there. Play with your projection sheet and see what I'm talking about. So a huge impact. This is what I'm going to do, so I'm going to schedule enough. Okay, now how many HOM guests? Well, let's look at something. As we start looking at personal documented volume plan, how many HOM guests? HOM guests, Herbalife Opportunity Meeting guests, these are people who are looking at the opportunity every single week with you, so you can get your supervisors and build that team. Remember, this is all built on growing supervisors. That's how you and I grow our royalties. So I need to be inviting people to the opportunity meetings every single week. Now I'm going to invite everybody in each of these 20 plus presentations. They all get an invitation, but we know a lot of them aren't ready to take a look yet. Down the road they will be. So what's the ideal action plan? Well, let's look at it. The ideal action plan was here. Here's a great starting point. Work with your sponsor and your mentor on these, and you know we're looking at these targets. Okay, so we put all of that in already, but what is your action? This is something you completely control. How much action will I do each month? And this is invitation action, and it pertains to HOM invitations, per month, and then the other invitations to presentations per month. And this is a suggestion. Now, here's what I'm going to suggest you do with your Gauge. And these might vary a little bit. If you see a different thing on your action plan, work with those. But I'm going to suggest you invite, there are 4 presentations or HOMs a month on average. I'm going to suggest you invite at least 30 people. That way you may end up with 3 or 4 people attending per month. Okay? Maybe more, but you got to get the invites out every single month, right? And you'll get them, by the way. You'll end up with unending people to invite if you follow the training you've learned in your basic training, meaning collecting referrals, meaning putting people into the pay system, and meaning working your hot list, and then working through chasing likes and social media. Absolutely powerful. Okay. So now you're going to do 30 invitations per month to the HOM, and hopefully that's going to end up, I'm going to say I'd like to see out of 30 invitations, I'd like to see at least 4 guests. So let's go back to that, and let's just set a target to start, of at least 4 HOM guests this month. If I have 4 HOM guests, there's a really good chance I'm going to have my 2 distributors, okay? All right, so that's my target. How much personal documented volume? Well, starting out, if you're going to be doing at least, 1,000 a month to get to supervisor, you want that to be growing. I'm going to suggest you strive for around 2,000 personally documented volume points your second month. Maybe it's a less. Maybe you're going to do 1,500, and then this will grow. By the time you're 3 months in business, you're going to start seeing that hit 5,000. You're going to be blown away at what you can accomplish there. But there are our targets. Awesome. Got it? Those are targets for the month. Now, there are 2 other sections to this Gauge. And, if you're, one thing I do want to mention, I mentioned in the last trainings too, if you're on a mobile phone, these are really challenging because that screen is really small. I suggest you go to a pad, a tablet, or ideally a computer if you can, because that really makes these sheets easier to work with. Okay, what is marketing method? You'll notice you see this little dog ear, this black dog ear up there. Well, here's what that is. If I hover over that cell, it gives me notes of some examples. Well, marketing method means your invitation. What marketing method will you do to invite people to presentations, right? Remember, you're going to book 30 presentations. How are you going to do it? Well, here's where you put your methods. So if I go back to this action plan, here are some methods. I'm going to suggest you choose 2 or 3 of these methods to implement. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to do hot list invites. I think that's the best one to get going right away. Hot list, referrals, and pays. The social media will improve and climb if you get these going, all 3 of these. This will start improving over the course of your second and third month because it starts getting generated from these. Your hot list will run out. You'll use all those up inside of 2 or 3 months. That'll be gone. And then your referrals will keep going, and your social media will start expanding big time in pays. This gets really strong as long as you use that hot list to go. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to list these items. Let's go back here. So type in the item. Let's do hot list invites. I'm going to do those. Let's also do referral invites. Let's do those. And then let's say you're going to do pays invites. And that's going to grow. And so maybe you say, you know what? I also think I want to do those social media conversational invites. Okay, cool. You're going to learn that and grow those. All right, how many of these are you going to do a month? You might want to type, look, you can actually insert your own little note here if you want. You can insert a note, not a comment, by the way, do a note. And you might say, you know what? I'm going to do exactly what they said on this hot list. I am going to do exactly what I saw back here, which was I'm going to do 30 plus. Well, if I invite 30 on my hot list, that'll get me about 15 presentations. So I guess I'm going to do 30 of those. Let me insert my note. I'm going to do 30. Great. If you want to do that, cool. If you don't want to do the notes, you don't have to, but let's do 30. How many will you do? And let's say you're going to do 30 referral invites as well. Maybe you want to instead do it this way to remind yourself, 30 for the month. That's fine. Pays invites, maybe you're going to do 30 as well. And then you just map out, when will you do those? In your social media conversations, maybe you're shooting to get 30 of those done this month. Okay, cool. I'm going to say you want at least 3 of these in order for this to work. Now, there are 2 rows. What is your plan? How many of these 30 will you do the invitation on day 1? How many will you do on day 2? How many will you do on day 7? Whatever it is. Maybe you're going to say this. All right, well, I'm going to do maybe Wednesdays are my days to do hot list invites. And I'm going to do 15 of them this Wednesday, and I'm going to do 15 of them the second Wednesday. And I like to get those done early in the month, because when I get those done early in the month, if for some reason I get behind and I need to do more, great, I'm going to do more, because at the end of the month, I want 30 presentations booked and 20 done. So that means if I end up having to do more than my original plan, I'll do it. Let me get those done ahead of time. So maybe I'm going to do my referral invitations on Thursdays. Let's type in 15 there. And then I'm going to go over to this Thursday and do 15 there. So you just work this out however you need, but you get the point. Your pays invitations, maybe you say, I'm going to focus on those. I'm going to do maybe those every day of the week. Maybe I'm going to work on 2 this day, and 2 this day, and 2 this day. Whatever it is, you lay that out. You get it? All right, so I'm going to not work the rest of it out. You see, now automatically this is telling how many you have scheduled for the month, and now you see. Here's the point. What you now do is before you go to bed every day, well, let me back up. Before you go to bed every day, yeah, let's look at this. Let's say you're going to bed on July 31st. Before you go to bed, you look and you say, okay, tomorrow, August 1st, my job is to do 15 of these and do these, 2 of these. That's your boss. I'm telling you guys, make your Gauge your boss. What would your boss say on Wednesday if you didn't do your job? You'd get the discipline. What if on Thursday you didn't do your job? You're starting to be in jeopardy. If you didn't do your job on Friday and you do it 3 days, you're probably going to get fired. Well, guess what? Your business really is your dream. Your boss is your dream, and your dream will fire you. You will not get your dream if you don't do your job. So take it that way. When I first made my Gauge my boss, my business completely changed. So here's what you do. Before you go to bed, you look and say, this is what I got to do. And then in the morning, you get up and do it. And then when you go to bed that night, you type in here how many you did. Let's say you were on a roll and you said, wow, this was so great. I did, on this date, Monday, I did not only 15, I did 18. Awesome. You were so excited because you did 15 invitations. And then here, your pays, you did 3. Now, let me just give you an example. What if you said 1 here? I would say unacceptable. Don't accept that from yourself. Your plan was 2. That's your job description. You need to do it. Do not accept 1 from yourself. All right? And maybe something happened. It's late at night. You say, well, so what? Now I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm going to get on social media. I'm going to do some conversations until I get 2 done. And then I'm going to go, then I'll go to bed. And if it means I go to bed late, my dream will thank me because I'm shooting for that plan for 24 months down the road. You get it? That attitude is what makes this work. Okay, so you get it. You do that all the way across. Now, what you then do before you go to bed is you record how much you did, and then you go down to the bottom and you look at what result that gave you. So now the question is, how many presentations did you book? So if you did 18 here, maybe you booked 10 presentations from that, and 1 presentation here, you enter 11. There, you got 11 booked. Wow, that's really awesome. You're really ahead of the game. The other thing you want to do, of course, is because you're in presentation mode, how many presentations did you do that day? Maybe you had 2 on your calendar and you did 2. Wonderful. That's awesome. How many, and then did you have any guests show up if you had an HOM? It doesn't apply here, but of those presentations you did, maybe you did 2 presentations. How many referrals did you collect? I'm going to tell you, you want at least 20. Let's say you collected 25, type it, and there you go. Great. Now you're recording what kind of result your marketing is giving you, your activity. This is huge. You guys, as you record this throughout a month, we're going to show you how to use this so powerfully, and it only takes a few minutes a day to do it, and about maybe 15 minutes at the end of each month to plan the next month. One other thing you do before bed. How much business growth did you have because of what you did that day? Well, how many new clients? You did 2 presentations. Let's say one became a client, and from your maybe you got 0 preferred members that day. Great. How many new distributors? Maybe 0 so far, but it's going to happen. You know, down the road, 90 days from now, you may say, wow, I got a new supervisor this day. Awesome. One of my distributors became supervisor. You get the point. Do this every single day as you go. And what you start seeing up here is your actual results start showing. Now, this is just the introduction to this. The main thing is that you get set up on it. Oh, and by the way, at the end of the month, you enter what your actual volume is here. And all of these are going into something else, and we'll talk more about what that really means as you get down the road. The main thing now is set up your gauge. Do exactly what I did. Make a commitment to make it your boss. Make a commitment to look at it every day before you go to bed, to fill out everything that occurred. Make sure you did your job. Don't go to sleep until you did. And then plan what look at your job for the next day. So you think about that before you go to sleep. And then get up in the morning and say, I'm building my dream. I'm building my dream house. One presentation at a time, one brick at a time. And the gauge is going to be one of the most powerful things. Now, we're going to get you advanced training on the gauge as you get a month or 2 experience on it. You're going to get some powerful stuff. Once you get 3 months of gauges of your personal action complete to reflect on, we're going to show you how to take that and turn your business growth into turbo mode. Without those, you won't be able to do it. You'll watch other people soar past you. But with those, because you discipline yourself every day between now and then, you're going to have one of the most powerful tools, and it's going to teach you, we're going to teach you the secrets that the top 1% earners use. We're going to show you everything we know about how to use this as a powerful, powerful tool to build your dream. And we'll be talking to you on the chats. Let's do this together.